It's done. It's over. The night's over. Well, we have one more race, right? But pretty much all the hard stuff's been done, right?
Yes.
So, how was the night compared? This is the fourth Potomac Pace?
This is the fourth Potomac Pace and the best so far.
Best so far?
Yes.
Why? Because I just keep coming back?
That's
or?
right. That's
okay.
right.
Is it all four for you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Was this your birth child? Was this your baby?
Actually, it was something that me and Pete Hanley came up with
Okay.
together, looking for a signature race to attach to Rosecroft. Throughout our history, I've been with Rosecroft for 32 years. So throughout the history, over different time periods, we've had signature races. It's been a while since we've had one, so it's time to grow it again.
So when you say this was the best one, by numbers, by handle, by how would you say it's the best?
So
live attendance,
public interest,
Okay.
live attendance. Handle's a factor as well. Interest of horses coming here. This was a really good field early on.
competitive race. Yeah,
Absolutely.
I know we had a couple of sick horses. Listen, everybody gets sick. It's almost November. It is November. Well, yeah, I'm sorry. The year blurs in, but it's November. Everybody gets sick. It is what it is, right? So
Yes, it's the nature of the sport.
we didn't break the track record.
We did not.
But
it's a different time of year. It's a little cooler out.
Okay.
Usually our best time to break a track record is a little bit warmer than this and probably a little earlier in the day.
Okay.
As the track sets with the sun.
So are you already thinking about next year, or no? We're still happy about tonight.
We'll probably take a minute breather, and then sometime in the next 2-3 weeks, we'll figure out where we want to position the race for next
Okay.
year. We have moved the date of the race around a little bit to accommodate the TVG race, and try to put ourselves in a position that we can attract some of the best horses
Sure.
to compete back against each other for a final.
Yeah, I would say
so to
between the Breeders' Crown and the TVG,
Yes.
they need a race to
They do.
stay in shape. What better race than this, right?
That's correct.
And it's not the week after the Breeders' Crown like it was a couple years ago. So maybe they have a little bit of a chance to travel back, breathe, relax, take a couple days before they get back. Because it's tough when it's right the week after. They got to ship back from wherever, and it's like right back and go. So at least I think this is a good spot for you. The card itself, too, was pretty good. I mean, we had the Maryland Invitational, which was a very competitive, great race, as we saw. And then there was also a memorial race, right?
Correct. So the memorial race is near and dear to my heart. One of my favorite customers here was a guy named Henry Sachs. And Henry's story is he was here on opening day in 1949. He's always told the story that we canceled that night. Very typical of Rosecroft. They all got here. He said it was the biggest traffic congestion in the area. Everybody got here, and it poured down rain, and they canceled racing.
Canceled.
And he said, and everybody complained, but they all came back the next night to watch the races. So he has been a regular here since 1949.
Dude, I can't even do the math.
I
That's a
know.
lot. That's a lot.
He passed away earlier this year, but even in the last couple times he came here, he would cry when he came in. I'm home. This is my home. He loved it here. He was such an integral part of this area in D.C. And Rosecroft. Even when we were closed for a period of time, he would come by and feed the birds.
Okay, so this was his home.
Correct. So a lot of friends he has here. He's made over the years. He's seen a lot of wonderful things and races here.
He probably
He was just
remembers when
such
the
a-
Breeders' Crown was here and some of the
Yes.
other big races that have been raced here. So
He was such a neat guy.
okay, restart. Listen, the track's not closed. Problems happens. You're the boss still, right? So you gotta put out fires and stuff happens. So what were we talking? We were talking about the memorial race.
Yeah, so we were talking about Henry. He was just an all-around great guy. Loved racing, loved the sports, loved the D.C. area, and just had a zest for life like no one I've ever met before. So he was an integral part of what happened here, and I really feel like Henry is the true hero of this sport.
Mm-hmm.
A fan that has been a fan.
Any fan that's just a fan
that
for
follows it
yeah.
that long.
Doesn't matter what sport it is, when you can get that and see that transfer over all those years and down into his kids and grandkids and great grandkids, and they were all here tonight, right?
They brought a huge crowd with them,
Yeah.
and it's going to be the first annual memorial for him. So we're going to do this.
So that's how we're going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So look,
it's a wonderful tribute to him.
So next year, what type of race do you foresee? I mean, was it a regular race? Do you foresee it kind of developing into a different race? Are we going to have a Potomac Trot? What do you think in honor of in honor of him, maybe, you know.
It's not a bad
I
idea.
just threw that out there, you know. I mean, listen, it's easy for me to throw around $100,000 here, $100,000 there, right?
That's
You
right.
know?
That's right. So we'll certainly look at the purse money we have available to spend, and come up with the best way to attract area horses, to keep our horsemen into the sport, as well as to attract attention of horses and owners all over the country. Because when we do invite other horses into here, that's when we do get recognition from the other racetracks and fans everywhere.
I think too. Last thing, I don't know the results. I know Slick Tony. He was the Lone Maryland. I don't know. He was right there. I mean, it was a good race, and I know maybe when we look back in 5 years, whatever. Okay, maybe I don't know if he finished 4th or 5th or 6th. Where do you know where he finished?
I don't.
Okay, but he was right there on the wire.
Yes, he was.
And I think that showed at least, hey, just because you race here, you can't come in here and expect to just lay over the field. I mean, you got to deal with horses like that, and that horse has been he's made a lot of money here.
The same thing happened last year. I think it was Rock and Roll Jet we had in the Potomac Pace that did. I
think he was 3rd or 4th, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So
Maryland horse. I mean, it's just
they
race
proud.
here and they race here consistently. And it's a good crop of horses that come through here, and that it's a great racing surface. Danny Herbst, our track superintendent, does a phenomenal job. Pete puts together a really competitive racing. So the two of those guys together, man, they set the sport on fire.
That's it. They make your job easier, right?
Yes, they do.
So anything else we should know about Rosecroft in 2020, or you don't know yet? You're still happy about tonight and still moving forward.
Very happy about tonight. But so one of the things that Pete Hanley and I do every year is we try to position our race schedule to, obviously give us the most exposure that we can abroad. So we'll look for a perfect spot to maybe start a little earlier next year.
Okay.
See where we want to end up in December, and we'll build our card around, our race dates around where we think the most exposure for Rosecroft is. And obviously, like what you mentioned before, is where we'll put the Potomac Pace is probably in between those two races to get,
And it's nice now. People can. This is the 4th edition. I think people are really okay. That's a race we can have our horse in and expect it to be there. And year after year after year, that's how you get consistently more competitive fields. Although maybe you don't want them too competitive, because then everybody's like, oh, geez, I still got to race against the top horses. Can't I get a break ever? But I guess when you're at the top, you want to beat the best, right?
Correct. One of the best feelings about a night like tonight is it's like racing was 20 years ago. Your dining room's full. You've got a great crowd outside cheering the horses on. You have the spotlight on horse racing.
It's a nice night too. I mean, it was
wonderful.
It was about 50 degrees. It's a nice, cool fall evening. I mean, we're 15 minutes outside of DC. I spent the weekend in DC. I mean, we're again 15 minutes. So this should be a destination for most people.
Absolutely.
So all right, Lisa Watts and the GM boss. I'll let you get back to bossing around, people around, because that's what she likes to do best, right? Starts pointing fingers. Yeah, you get back to work. So and put out fires,
That's
right?
right.
So all right, thank you, Lisa.
Thank you.
Bye.